Hello and welcome to BIS Talks. My name is Avinash Verma and I am here to give you a brief talk about the Medical Devices Management System, MDMS. If we search the word standardization online, it talks about being a framework of agreements in an industry to which all parties must adhere. But what is the importance of standardization and how does it actually work in everyone's favor? These are some of the topics I would like to discuss today. Bureau of Indian Standards, that is BIS, is that one single national standards body which represents the country in the International Forum on Standardizations. While BIS, the national standards body, functions as the umbrella organization to guarantee a certain level of standard in India, it also represents the country in international forums on standardization, including International Organization for Standardization, ISO, and International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC. I would like to focus on Medical Devices Management System, MDMS certification scheme, IS 23485. Medical equipment, right from blood pressure meters, glucose meter, or large devices like CAT scanners, MRI scanners, and robotic surgical equipment, to mundane objects like medical gloves or personal protective equipment, are all life-saving devices. But just one error in their standardization can make the same device fatal.
And I'm happy to report that IS 23485 is one of the Indian standards which we have developed indigenous, and this takes care of the quality management system of IVD as well as non-IVD for safety as well as performance.
Under IS 23485 2019, this standard is a merger of three standards. Now, let me take you into the world of IS 23485 2019 standard. Section 1, Medical Devices Quality Management Systems Requirements. Section 2, Medical Devices Essential Principles of Safety and Performance of Medical Devices. Let's start with Section 1. Under Section 1, it specifies requirements for a quality management system that can be used by an organization involved in one or more stages of the life cycle of a medical device. Section 1. Medical Devices Quality Management Systems Requirements is like an upgraded version that includes a quality management system from 2016, that is, ISO 13485 2016. Medical devices is a quality management system that is required for regulatory purposes. Under life cycle of medical devices, quality management systems requirements include design and development, production, storage and distribution, installation, servicing, final decommissioning and disposal of medical devices, and technical support. Now, let's come to Section 2, Medical Devices Essential Principles of Safety and Performance of Medical Devices. Under Section 2 come the general essential principles and additional essential principles of safety and performance for both IVD, that is, in vitro diagnostic devices, and non-IVD medical devices. To Section 2, medical devices is like a new version of ISO 16142 2016 and ISO 16142 2017. Now let me explain the two standards. ISO 16142 2016 and ISO 16142 2017. ISO 16142 1, 2016 medical devices is recognized as essential principles of safety and performance of medical devices. That is Part 1, General Essential Principles and additional specific essential principles for all non-IVD medical devices and guidance on the selection of standards. And ISO 16142 2017 medical devices is recognized essential principles of safety and performance of medical devices. And Part 2 is General Essential Principles and additional specific essential principles for all IVD, that is in vitro diagnostic devices, and guidance on the selection of standards. Now, with the introduction of IS 23485 2019 Medical Devices Quality Management System Requirements and Essential Principles of Safety and Performance for Medical Devices, all three standards have been merged, which means for all the requirements, there is only IS 23485 2019.
So this one standard can give you all these benefits. Compliance to just one standard will help you in demonstrating your compliance to all the three standards, which are all important. But it will be very easy to implement and easy to comply with by the manufacturers of the devices, as well as the certifying bodies and all the stakeholders which are involved with the medical devices. So that is the main purpose.
Now, let me take you into the world of IS 23485 2019 standard. IS 23485 2019, like ISO 13485 2016, is a quality management system that can be used by any organization that builds medical devices.
23485 is addition to 13485. There are some more specifics to that. Now after 23485 we are going to have a product certification. So this will be a product which will be certified that this is as per the standards, and it is equal to a international standard, because India is a signatory to ISO, and whatever certificates are issued by ISO international standards are actually the same. So there is nothing different, like ISO is different or 13485 issued by Indian organization is different. It is same. It is the same book, it is the same standard, it is applied in the same way, except here it is inspected by the government authority, that is BIS, and there it is you are sort of controlled by a notified body, which is not under government control.
But the distinctiveness of IS 23485 2019 standard is that it can also be used by suppliers or other external parties providing products. For example, raw materials, components, sub-assemblies, medical devices, sterilization services, calibration services, distribution services, maintenance services to medical device manufacturers. Compliance to IS 23485 2019 would include compliance to essential principles of safety and performance, as well as to QMS, which is Quality Management System requirements.
Another benefit of medical devices management system is the customer satisfaction. The medical devices management system is based on general principles of quality management, one of which is customer satisfaction. This can be done by assessing the needs of the customer and their expectations as well, and then strive to meet them. This ultimately leads to increased revenue for the organization.
Let's try to understand quality management system. Quality management system is a way of defining how an organization can meet the requirements of the customers. So, the unique point about IS 23485 2019 Medical Devices quality management system requirements and essential principles of safety and performance for medical devices is that it has been formulated by Medical Equipment and Hospital Planning Department, or MHD, of Bureau of Indian Standards.
To keep the spectrum complete, we also have quality assurance system for delivery of health services in the hospitals. We take utmost care and create standards which will help the hospitals to deliver the optimum services, which is a combination of practices, equipments, and the healthcare, the training of the healthcare professionals. These includes various aspects, which is also taking care of the IVD and non-IVD devices in the hospital. So with this, I want to say that we have a complete range of standards which will help us to deliver quality health services. That is our mandate, and we try to do it to the best possible manner.
Medical device management system also ensures the performance and safety of the medical device. This standard is based on 6 general principles of safety and performance that apply to all medical devices. And these principles are general in nature, and when met, indicates that the medical device is safe and effective.
And I'm happy to report that IS 23485 is one of the Indian standard which we have developed indigenally, and this takes care of the quality management system of IVD as well as non-IVD for safety as well as performance. We have 20 sectional committees in various disciplines: surgical instruments, orthopedics, assisted devices, then surgical healthcare. And so all these sectional committees take care of the health care of various personnel. It is ensured that whatever Indian standards are developed by our committees, they are perfect and they are really matching the requirements of common people, so that the performance in terms of safety as well as in the health requirement is taken care of.
Now, why go through all these complex procedures to get certified if there are no benefits, right? Of course, there are benefits. Let me list out some of them to you. Firstly, the ability to contract with larger companies. Many large medical device companies prefer to work with suppliers who are ISO certified. The large companies are responsible for ensuring that any subcontractors comply with these standards. This means that the subcontractors who have already certified will likely have priority. Secondly, demonstrate commitment to high quality. IS 23485 is considered as an indicator of an organization's commitment to quality. Achieving a quality management certification demonstrates to customers that your company appreciates quality. An IS 23485 mark is basically a stamp of excellence.
We know that BIS is the national standard body for defining the standards for all medical devices. And then there will not be any duplication of effort on part of the manufacturers or on part of the certifying body. Like they have to just certify with one standard, and then there will be ease of implementation, there will be ease of operation. All organizations, whether they are smaller organizations or bigger organizations, they can be applied to all kind of devices, whether they are in vitro devices or non-in vitro devices or other devices, medical devices. So it can be applied as a one standard to all kind of devices.
Thirdly, expand potential market. IS 23485 standard has been created to ensure that medical devices in different positions demonstrate the same reliability and quality. If you are thinking of exporting products, IS 23485 certification can offer an advantage. Fourth, help staff access relevant information. The requirements of ISO 13485 documentation are designed to ensure that all members of a development team have access to the information they need when they need it. Having access to the right information can reduce the time and expense associated with the product development. Fifth, expand and consolidate company knowledge. We also know from customers that the process helps the company develop a consolidated knowledge base. This knowledge can help to identify problems, improve the product, and simplify the production process. Next, we have the PDCA cycle, the plan, do, check, act. PDCA cycle is a very important component of any management system involved in any project. This is not a line, but a cycle. A set of actions that happen again and again and again until the final product is devoid of any flaws and is in perfect working state. Let me explain how the PDCA improvement cycle is applied to the QMS. One of the most important parts of the QMS is planning of quality objective and of the quality system which will be ultimately used to monitor the QMS and its processes. All the objects and goals must be fixed and rigid beforehand. Planning must be foolproof. Next comes leadership commitment to lead the organization towards a greater customer focus by creating a quality policy and defining organizational roles and responsibilities. Good leadership makes sure that the way forward for an organization is without any roadblocks and U-turns. This is followed by the identification of risks and opportunities within the QMS and addressing them accordingly, as well as setting quality objectives and planning changes in the support of continual improvement. Risks need to be taken, but not reckless ones. Planned ones. The last step of this phase is to determine and implement the support structure necessary to execute your plans, which will include planning resources, identifying competencies, raising awareness, and establishing processes for the creation and control of required documentation. The next step, get it done. Do. All of this detailed planning means nothing unless you actually carry out these plans. Operational controls must be identified for the QMS, as well as product and/or service requirements. Designs must be developed and controls must be implemented for any externally provided products, services, and processes. The production process must be set up with controls for product and service release, and any non-conformities in the products or services must be dealt with. To sum it all up, each task involved in the creation and provision of products and services to your customers must be completed in time and with efficiency. Now, you need to check and monitor. A number of requirements in the standard specify the need to assess the QMS processes to make sure they are functioning as planned. This will involve monitoring, measuring, analyzing, and evaluating your products and services to confirm that they meet the requirements. Also, that the processes are suitable and effective and that customer service goals are achieved. Without continuous and close monitoring, it is easy for work to be misdirected. A key method for assessing the effectiveness of the QMS is an internal audit of its processes. In addition, management review of the collected data should be performed to identify any issues and to plan for any necessary changes. Now act on these processes. Now it is the time to address whatever issues may have arisen during the check step. Improvement is the name of the game, and the actions steps will need to include addressing non-conformities through corrective and preventive actions and treat non-conformities. Whatever flaws were discovered should be dealt with now. Are we done? Yes or no? We are done with one round. Time for the next one. Planning. Yes, we have completed one cycle. So now we're ready to start again and put plans in place to ensure further improvement. Remember, it's a cycle, right? Again and again. The internal audit findings during the check phase may have necessitated action steps during the act phase. If so, you'll need to make changes during the plan phase to meet the new requirements in the following do phase. The management review will take into account the results of the internal audit, as well as any corrective actions taken to provide planned resources to support the necessary changes. This, of course, will lead us to another do phase and on through the cycle. With each process, the whole cycle will keep getting simpler and more efficient. Only such a thorough process can make sure that we have high-quality medical products, which leave no stone unturned in the efforts of saving lives. And such products can easily find acceptance among top medical professionals. Now let's come to another important topic, that is resource management. Preparation, preparation, and preparation. The more prepared you are, the better chances of the success of your organization. Resource management can be broken down into 4 components. 1. Provision of resources. 2. Human resources infrastructure. 3. Work environment. 4. Contamination control. Let's start with the first of the 4, provision of resources. What you need to have is all the resources you need to complete the task beforehand. Being prepared with all the necessary tools will make things much easier for you. As they say, well begun is half done. Begin well and you will definitely meet all the customer needs and regulatory checks. The organization needs to ensure that all the employees have appropriate knowledge, training, and expertise to perform their jobs with quality. Next in line of resource management is human resource infrastructure, probably the most important part of any factory. The infrastructure is any building, workspace, and utilities, equipment, and supporting services that guide in transportation, communication, or information systems. The better the workplace, the better the employees, and hence, better the final product. Don't forget, a healthy infrastructure not just needs good machinery, but also a healthy and efficient environment. Which brings me to my next point. Work environment. Environmental factors are necessary as a part of the QMS because they directly influence products and service quality. Environment includes social, psychological, or physical factors. If you want your organization to do well, then your employees need to be fit as a fiddle, physically and mentally, and while dealing with medical products manufacturing. It is of prime importance that the environment be clean and sterile. Now let me take you through product understanding in simple terms. It is something that is designed to help you maintain control of your medical device quality management systems. So now the question is, how do we get IS 23485 certified? Like I said, for this we need to get ISO 13485 certified first. The first step in IS 23485 certification for your company involves implementing a QMS based on the ISO 13485 requirements. Let's start with step 1, internal audit. The internal audit is in place for you to check your QMS processes. The goal is to ensure that the records are in place to confirm compliance of the processes and to find problems and weaknesses that would otherwise stay hidden. In the next step, that is step number 2, management review. A formal review by your management to evaluate the relevant facts about the management system processes in order to make appropriate decisions and assign resources. And finally, step number 3, corrective actions. Following the internal audit and management review, you need to correct the root cause of any identified problems and document how they were resolved. Now, let me explain how the whole certification process is divided into 2 stages. Stage 1, documentation review. The auditors from BIS will check to ensure your documentation meets the requirements of ISO 13485. Stage 2, main audit. Here the auditors will check whether your actual activities are compliant with both ISO 13485 and your own documentation by reviewing documents, records, and company practices. Once all of the processes and procedures are in place, you will need to operate the QMS for a period of time. By doing this, you will be able to collect the records necessary to go to the next steps, to audit and review your system and get certified. After finishing all your documentation and implementing it, your organization also needs to perform these steps to ensure a successful certification. This includes 2 stages of audits, Stage 1 and Stage 2 audits. BIS also offers remote auditing or virtual auditing. The associated costs of stay and travel are curbed, resulting in cost-effective certification.
BIS has incorporated all the standards. Because of that, we can actually readily apply for them and understand them. That is the best part. That's why we are very keen that BIS should actually mobilize still further, increase the strength and do things faster.
The process is very clear and simple to follow. The applicant needs to apply for scrutiny. If the application is accepted, then the Stage 1 audit starts, which means the audit team is appointed. Here the action is required by the applicant. Then comes Stage 2 audit, which is initial certification audit, after which comes the audit report. If the report is satisfactory, then the license is granted. But if the report is not satisfactory, there are 2 kinds of actions that can be taken. One is that the applicant works as per the standards and then goes back to Stage 2, that is auditing again. Or in other cases, the application that is deemed unsatisfactory, the application is closed.
We normally, BIS is doing very transparently. So we have a system of giving a brief audit report during the audit itself. If there is anything which is not as per IS, that means that is non-compliant to their system, we give non-conformity, sometimes opportunity for improvement. If that is the total failure from the system, we give major non-conformity. If there is certain small kind of non-compliance, or that is basically they are following this but something may go wrong, then we give minor non-conformities. After verifying everything, if it is found okay, then the application is processed for grant of license. After reviewing our DDG, Deputy Director General of different region, they are authorized to grant license for this ABMS or SQMS. If our DDG is in the team, then the license is granted by Deputy Director General and Management System Certification Department.
Friends, the best medical products in the world are being created in India today, not just for Indians, but also for export. Manufacturers of medical devices are in the business of saving lives, and hence this is one area where we cannot relax quality. So making sure that these products are of the best quality is not just a moral, but a national responsibility. Goodwill is often the best form of profit. Thank you and Jai Hind.